8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Coming soon. Snake River Manufacturing is developing a revolutionary new way to design and build a custom kayak trailer. This modular design lets you customize your trailer one piece at a time, allowing you to grow as you go.
You know, a lot of folks think gorillas can't read. But when the magazine's this good, even I had to subscribe.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining me for this episode of the Kayak Cafe. This episode and every episode this year is brought to you by Snake River Manufacturing. Go over to snakerivermanufacturing.us and check out the kayak trailers that Steve and the team are putting together. He's constantly engineering, tweaking, and making some amazing trailers to get you to and from the water in style. So go check them out at snakerivermanufacturing.us. Also, check out VikingKayaksusa.com. Viking Kayaks has some amazing kayaks that you can get you back to your paddling roots while being able to take on some amazing water, fresh or salt. So, all right, coming up, just a heads up, the USA Kayak Fishing Magazine has issue 11 coming out here soon. And this issue is going to have all female anglers. So as of right now, we have Kylie Short, Kayla Carlock, Tammy Kimmel, Tiffany Rich, Wendy Biles, Amy Brown, Barbara Moore, Amanda Brandon. We have Heroes on the Water women's. They did their first all women's tournament, or outing. So we have that. Alicia Moore, Lisa Garcia, Annie Nagel, Dina Davis, Katie Bacca, Holly Citadino, Jen Nolan. We have Pamela Worth, Carol Wells. So we have a huge list of ladies that have either contributed information or actual articles to the upcoming issue. So go to usakfm.com, and subscribe. That way, when the email comes out, it comes to your inbox. So, all right. So this is episode 46, and we have a great guest who is quite an angler. He's a podcast host at times. I log in whenever he's on. He's also a great manufacturer. So we're going to learn a lot tonight about what makes this gentleman tick. So without further ado, I'm going to bring in Josh Carter. Hello, Mr. Carter. How are you?
How you doing, buddy? I appreciate you having me on tonight.
I appreciate you coming on. So I know you're busy. You got all these irons in the fire, family, business, everything. So if you wouldn't mind, just give a brief rundown for those that don't know who you are and what you do.
So like I say, my name's Josh Carter. I'm co-owner of One Objective Bass Fishing and also co-owner of One Objective Outdoors, which is a new project that we've been doing for the last couple of years now that we've been steadily growing. But the One Objective Bass Fishing is basically, it started out as a hobby business. You know what I mean? We were kind of, long story short, we had a guy, Casey Reed, that came on our like second or third podcast show we ever did. We went to school with Casey Reed, so he was a good friend of ours. That was when a lot of controversy was going on with some cheating stuff in the kayak world. So we didn't know nothing about this. We just seen clips. So we got Casey on to talk about it. And then we had Chad Hoover. And, but we got to learning like the ins and outs of kayak fishing. I'm like, man, this is awesome, because it's kind of like grassroots, me going back to the fish in the river. I was into bass boat stuff for a good while. So to get me back into the river fishing and all that. So me and James ended up getting on with a company called Bob's Up the Creek Outfitters. He put us in 2 Vibe Sea Ghosts. And we just started decking them out a little bit. And then it kind of, we really didn't have a lot of parts for that. We didn't, it wasn't our intentions to make parts. We were just kind of decking them out. And then they told us that's when Bonafide started coming out. And we knew Luther, but the guy from Bob's Up the Creek Outfitters, he told us to talk with Luther at ICAST. That was the first time we went to ICAST. And, we got into Bonafides, and it was just, since then, we just started making products. We got recognized at one of the KBF national championships because we did a actuated mount,
Mm.
and people seen it, loved it, and it built from there. I mean, got into that, and then once the bow mount scene really started going, you started seeing people running bow mounts.
Mm-hmm.
Designed one. We were the first ones that designed one for manufacturing wise. We were the first one that designed one for the Bonafide SS127,
Mm-hmm.
and that really put us on the map right there. And then it's been history right there. Me and James have had a good time doing it, and now we're making stuff for all kinds of different kayaks out there. Some stuff that is kayak specific, brand specific, and then some stuff's universal. So we're trying to get more in a universal market on some of it, but it's really hard with certain products.
Right. So let's go back to the early on. Were you always an angler, or did you start later in life? What was
I've done it basically all my life. My dad was the big reason why I picked a fishing rod up. My dad was I thought he was the greatest fisherman alive. You know what I mean? When I was young, and I still do. I think he's really good. I've
Mhm.
learned a lot from him, and but he got me out there. He got me in a john boat, and we fished the river. That's where I started learning how to fish. That I remember is the James River in Big Island. That's where my stomping grounds are. So, but yeah, and then ever since then I just started kind of getting into competitive fishing, and then we joined a club, and then some things, how club drama is.
Yeah.
So we ended up starting our own club, and me and my dad ran that, and it to the point where he just couldn't physically do it much anymore, and then we just kind of fish competitively in kayaking and in the bass boat side.
Okay, so it's mostly bass boat. When did you first get into the kayak scene?
I'm gonna say it was, man. So I've done a little bit of it when I was with my dad. We used to go camping, and he had a sit-in kayak. I hated that kayak. To be quite honest with you, I couldn't get out of it by myself. When I was younger, I hated that thing. But when I got out on the water, I felt like I was my own. I could do my own thing. It's kind of so. I'd say when I was younger, I did it for a little bit, but we didn't have all the goodies like we got now. I paddled around and had a little bitty Plano box with some jigs or whatever in it, But and then I would say 2016 is when we started our podcast show. And then that's when we kind of started getting into it. So I'm gonna say 2016 because we started the show in February 2016, and that's when we started kind of getting into it in that spring.
So you made mention to him. When did you for everyone who doesn't know, can you tell everyone who James is and how you guys met?
Yeah. So James. So hold on a second. My dog is barking.
It's just saying hello.
Yeah. She's telling Mama the chicken's done. I think she's coming down. But anyways, so me and James met in high school. So we have been buddies since I think it's 8th grade. I remember he sat beside me in history class. Miss Haggerty was her name. We sit there in history class, and I remember he started driving before me, and his grandfather had a pond, and it was loaded with catfish, and it was loaded with catfish. So his mom would, at first before he started driving, his mom would drop us off, and we'd stay up there all day catching catfish, man. And you could they would feed them. So if you throw a little, dog food out or whatever that fish food is, you'd start seeing like submarines come up. So and then we just we'd go catch a few bass. We get tired of catching catfish, we go start catching a few bass. So and then me and James just built a relationship off of that, and as you get into high school, we were good friends, and then once you get out of high school, it's you kind of lose contact for a little while. Just he was chasing women too, his wife now, and then me and my wife, we were just getting married and riding motorcycles and all that stuff. So we just kind of separated for a little bit. But then I was doing a podcast show, and I didn't like the direction it was going. I was kind of as I don't know, not a guest, but I, kind of helping out with it. and I just
Co-host.
direction, yeah, co-host, and I didn't like the direction it was going. So I reached out to James because I know me and him used to fish together all the time. And I said, man, I couldn't think of doing this show with anybody else. So if you want to start it, and that's how I began right there. That's long story short. Long story long. That's how
Long
it
story
started.
long. Yeah, so my brother loved. I was joking him a while back, but he always tells this long story in the very end. He's like, "Long story short," like,
Yeah.
you pass that. But I mean,
Yeah.
long stories make great podcasts. So
Yeah.
yeah, so that's cool. I mean, I think it's always good to have someone in your corner. Like I have a business partner here at the studio. I've mentioned him a lot, but he and we sort of like click with personality and fun and having a blast, and I think it makes it go a lot smoother and quicker. So that's
Yeah.
cool that you mesh really well like that.
Yeah.
Now, for your business, I mean, were you making accessories and things like that when you first started for uh, the boat scene, or did that start after the kayaks?
No, that started after the kayaks. So we were doing the bona fides for a while.
Mm-hmm.
And to be quite honest with you, so basically how One Objective really got started was because of COVID.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we made some products and it started becoming a side hustle. You know, I was a mechanic. James did James did um like manufacturing stuff with like, or not manufacturing, worked for Featherlight basically.
Uh-huh.
And I seen that post there.
Mm-hmm.
But he basically did designing or helping build Featherlight buses for NASCAR drivers.
Mm.
And so we were kind of getting into doing some cabinetry work is where we were going. So we was like, all right, we're going to venture off here. We're going to do this cabinetry business. And when COVID hit, kind of lost a contract. It was a big contract that we had as soon as we started doing this, and our side business, One Objective, just kind of took off, man, for kayaking. You know, I mean, everybody was doing it. So, and that was the biggest thing that got us going. I know COVID was such a bad time for a lot of people. A lot of people lost loved ones and got sick and lost jobs and all that stuff. And
Mm-hmm.
for us, I hate saying it that way, but it was really a blessing for our business. You know, that's what kicked it, really got us going.
Now, did you guys have any supply issues? 'Cause I know a lot of people did during COVID. And
Now when we first started, we were getting into selling. We was like, well, you know, if it's taking off, we'll get into selling Crescent kayaks. You know, so
Mhm.
that we were going to be a dealer for Bonafide because we were making stuff for their kayaks, and then we were going to sell Crescents. And then what happened was, is these manufacturers had so many dealers
Mhm.
they either couldn't keep them supplied. So the new people on the block, like which we were, you know, we ended up losing our dealer stuff because they just couldn't keep. You know, we I think we ordered like 10 and sold them like before they hit the yard, and then we did another order like 20, and they
Mhm.
were like, I don't know if we can do that right now. And then that's when the email came out that they were dropping all their dealers, you know. So we didn't get our second order in before we were dropped, you know. So
Yeah, that was kind of a crazy time. I remember the used market even was crazy.
yeah.
So
Yeah, and it still is right now. I think
mhm.
the problem with the used market is everybody, you know, like say we're buying them, and then now there's so many new boats that are coming out.
Mhm.
You know, there'll be a new boat that comes out that's it's already ready for a motor or more rigging options. So now people are trying to sell them to get these boats, and I think that's what's hurting the market now. Is there's so many. I mean, it's
Right.
on kayaks are getting about like computers now, and there's a new design every time you turn around.
Yeah, they don't seem to hold. A lot of the brands don't seem to hold their value on the resale either because of
Mm-mm.
you just want to pawn it off to get the new XTR then or another unlimited something big and
Yeah.
if you want fast turnaround. So
Yeah. And I think too, and this is not blaming any kayak brand here. I think
mhm.
too, there's so many where they were rushing to get these kayaks out.
Right.
Now companies are trying to not use as much plastic on certain things. You're starting to see more warranty issues. And
Mhm.
just these Facebook groups, you see more of it. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
you're not going to see the good stuff when you go on a Facebook group and start searching kayak brands. You're going to see this broke or this cracked or that. You're not going to see, hey, I just love my boat and that's why I'm
Right.
posting kinda, you know?
It's like Yelp reviews. You go there to see the bad. Like,
Yeah, yeah,
like it has 6 reviews and they're all bad. Wait a minute.
yeah, that's gotta
They're
be bad.
always booked. Yeah.
Yeah, Yep.
So do you guys still do you still sell kayaks or?
No, we finally stepped away from it. I can
Mhm.
see, I mean, some companies that are well established,
Mhm.
like was that Delaware Paddle Sports, Bob's. You got some of these older style companies have been doing it for years before it was, the big deal. They're well established and they know how to make money with it,
Right.
and sell and know what boats to get. For us, for what it was costing us to even get going was astronomical. And then you look
Mhm.
at what the sale is and you're like, man almighty, I really didn't make a lot of money on this. And then if you got to do a sale or if they have a warranty issue, and then it turned into more. I'm like, man, I don't know if I
Yeah.
want to deal with this much more.
Yeah, you start factoring the margins and then the unhappiness of customers potential, and yeah,
Yeah.
I can imagine that that could be a bit draining. So,
Yeah.
now did you go straight from that to the accessories, or like the manufacturing, or?
Nah, well, like I say, we our business was already taking off before
Mhm.
that, with the keel guards and
Mhm.
um, we had the non-actuated and actuated mounts. We had a lot of the 107 mounts, and then we just started kind of going into the accessory plates. That was
Mhm.
starting to do big, um, and then it just started going from different bow mounts. But in that time, that's when we started getting into the bow mounts. Is when we started getting in with Crescent and doing some of their, doing selling their stuff. But and then once we got out of that, we just said, we're going to get into rigging. So we've been rigging kayaks and bass boats for people now too. So that's kind of a big part of what we do as well.
Yeah, that's. I have one of your bow mounts on my Unlimited. I don't run a bow mounted motor, but I love the handle
Yeah.
function of that thing. Like I feel like I could yank that bad boy anywhere off that.
Oh yeah. Well, it makes it nice because some kayaks have a decent handle, but sometimes it's kind of positioned wrong. Like certain ones will be not turned sideways, or it just
Mhm.
depends on how you pick them up off your truck. Some of them don't feel right. So a lot of people, we do get a lot of compliments about it. We've actually had guys put bow mounts on there just so they can have a different handle to be able to pick their kayak easy up, pick their kayak up easier.
So you and James partner. What strength do each of you bring to the table? Like with a good partnership. You both aren't
Yeah,
the dreamers, let's say. So
yeah.
what's the dynamic?
James is our designer. Like he
Mhm.
can vision something and know that like, hey, if we do this and this will be perfect. You know what I mean? And then I
Right.
kind of step in and like, try to put a second input into it. You know what I mean? But very rare is a lot of my stuff the final output. You know what I mean? We're just kind of brainstorming, but James is more of the vision of the product
Mhm.
and knowing that hey, we need to do it this way so it's more stable, or we need to do this to so it's structurally sound. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
some of our products are tongue and grooved. I mean, that's because of like our big boy mount and all that we do for the XTR for the gas motors. That's a big part of it is the tongue and groove and keeping it strong. And um, he just understands that stuff. He's done woodwork all his life. So
Right.
he
Huh.
understands that aspect of it, and what you need to do to keep something rigid. And then basically what I do is, I take care of a lot of customer stuff. So most time when people call One Objective, they're getting me
Mhm.
or they're going to get James. That's something a lot of people don't understand is that when I say we're small business, I
Right.
mean, we're a small business. Like there for a while years ago, I laughed because a lot of people are like, there was some drama that went around about our company, and everybody's like, "Oh, you got the rich people coming in now. These multi-million-dollar companies trying to get a taste of or get a piece of the market." And I'm like, who are they talking about multi-million? I mean, me and James started this business from a podcast. He put
Mhm.
50 in, I put 50 in. So we put $100 in it, and that's where we're at. Um, but yeah, we're such a small business. Our kids help us during the summer when they're out of
Mhm.
school, shipping and all that, and they're a big part of our business. It's from either just drill pressing or shipping or building, stuff like that. So but I basically do kind of getting back to it. I basically do a lot of our marketing. I do a lot of our video editing, stuff like that, our website designing. I do all that. So that's basically what I do. I take care of the front side of it and what everybody sees, and James kind of takes care of the back side of it and designing and building this vision of a product or something like that.
Now, let me ask you this, because you guys are what I would consider mom and pop. You are like grassroots, just the two of you.
Mhm.
I remember when almost every single kayak related company felt that way. Like you would call, you would either talk to the owner or you would be able to talk to somebody who's looking at the owner.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's totally changed. Are you running into the same thing on your end where you used to be able to call and chat with the
Yeah,
top dog?
I know just with the manufacturing side
Hmm.
is with like companies like Bonafide and when I say these companies, don't think I'm calling them out or trying to, throw them
Right.
under the bus. I'm just saying this is names that come, but like Hobie, for instance, it's really hard to call and get somebody to talk to. They've
Hmm.
gotten so corporate, you know what I mean? But like the small kayak shops now, you still got that grassroots stuff. But when it comes to
Yes.
manufacturing anymore, you go online and look. Let's just say you got a product that you're having an issue with, whether it's a kayak or not, and you go online and you want to look up a phone number to call somebody. Most places you can't even find a number
Right.
at all. You know what I mean? So even with emails, if you email it, it goes to a second marketing company, a third person group, and then they'll send you a somewhat of an email to get you going. You know what I mean? But I feel like with us, we try to keep it grassroots. And if you get an email, if you send us an email, you're going to get me or James, one of the two. If you call the number on the website, you're going to get me every time. That's how it works.
Yeah, I like that feel. I mean, it's different on my end because I'm trying to, reach out to people about the magazine, what's new, what's going on. But
Yeah.
I know as someone who buys a product, I love calling and speaking to someone about that product if there's an issue, or even if you've got a, installation issue,
Yeah.
because I don't care how good your instructions are. It could be two bolts.
Yeah.
Someone's going to need help putting those two bolts in.
Yeah, exactly. It's never, I mean, and I don't knock none of our customers. We got wonderful customers, great
Mhm.
customers. But sometimes we'll get because we do all our stuff on video.
Right.
We don't do paperwork because man, we'd have to keep so much file of everything. Like, and we are not organized people. I'm gonna tell you that right now. So for us to have that kind of stuff, I don't think it'd work. So we shoot all our installs on video because most people go to YouTube now
Hmm.
look up how to do something anyways. They don't want to read it or whatever. If you show them right there how to do something, or you can say, hey, you might have to wiggle this a little bit to make it work, depending on your kayak. Um, so we try to keep it simple like that when it comes to doing install videos and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, we get some stuff, it's 4 bolts and 4 holes on your kayak, and it should be self-explanatory, but I understand some people are not mechanically inclined and just want to make
Hmm.
sure everything's right. So that's why we try to keep the option there to call and we can walk somebody through it. And the people that you're going to talk to are the ones that did the install video. So, you know.
Exactly. Yeah, I think a lot of people. I know a lot of people in the fishing industry are more visual learners too. Like they like to watch. I could tell you a technique on how to work a worm, but if you watch somebody do it, you pick up on it a lot quicker.
Exactly. I know that with fishing, just if fishing the BFLs. I mean, I've had a co-angler just whipping my butt in the back of the boat, and I'm like,
Yeah.
gosh almighty, what he's doing. So I'll just kind of watch him a little bit, just fishing and just looking back. I'm like, oh, okay, I see what he's doing. He's working a little bit different, and
Right.
sometimes it works and sometimes you still get your butt whipped. But you're right. We are visual creatures, man, when it comes to that stuff. We like to
Yeah.
see it done and being used compared to, I mean, if you see a fishing video, it's easy to go and say, hey, check this jerk bait out. It's awesome. It catches a bunch of fish. But if
Hmm.
you ain't showing a video how to work it and somebody catching a fish on it, nobody's going to believe you. I can tell you that.
It's true. That's very true. So when you guys were building the business, one objective, who came up with that name, and is there a meaning behind it?
So me and a buddy sit down. His name's Michael. He don't live around here no more, but he was really good at doing, I won't say small graphic design, nothing major like you see people doing now, but at the time it was just some smaller stuff. And I told him, I said, look, man, me and James are doing a podcast show. I need some kind of logo. And then I just was spouting out at names, like one
Hmm.
objective. Like our one objective here is to learn about bass fishing. That's what I wanted to do. Our one objective is to teach people about bass fishing. That's why we wanted to do this, because I wanted to learn from talking to the pros and get some inside scoop, but also teach the people that are watching, because people, we got a lot of questions about stuff. So we wanted to kind of help out the industry as well with just people learning. And I think that just kind of stuck. And then my buddy, he drew it up and he kind of like, man, check this out. What do you think about this? And I mean, I liked it right away. So I sent it to James and said, what do you think? And he's like, man, let's roll with it. And this is where we've been at now.
I'll tell you, as a designer or a graphics person, when someone likes it out the gate, we love that.
Yeah. Yeah.
That
You just put a lot of hard work just in that. Right.
Yes.
There, you know what I mean? So
yeah. I hate when you really, really put your heart into something, like, okay, that's a good place to start. And I'm like, oh my goodness.
Yeah. What do you want now?
Call the wife. I'll be home tomorrow.
Yeah.
So when you guys first started out, I mean, how did you get the word out? I mean, I know marketing's a big thing, but what was your go-to to get people to know about One Objective?
Basically just Facebook. I didn't know nothing about Facebook. I mean, I had my account, that I've seen family stuff. And then I said, well, let's just start a business account with it, and just see what happens. And so I just sent it to a lot of my friends and people that I fish against and or fished with. And we just kind of put it out there and then just kept asking people to share it. And, you don't know half the time if people are sharing it. At least at that time I didn't. I don't know how that stuff worked. You know what I mean? And it just started kind of growing there, man. And just trying to come up with content, to post every day or every other day. At that time, it was like once, twice a week, and we were just kind of learning the business on our own. A lot of YouTube videos of learning how to market a podcast show. I mean, we have basically built this business off of learning stuff off of YouTube, from designing a website to starting a podcast show to, just everything. It's such a useful tool. We use it a lot.
Man, my son was like, I'm having trouble doing this math, this math course at high school. I was like, you have a computer that's stronger than any computer I've growing up.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, when I first did my first issue of the magazine, I did it all in Photoshop because that's what I really know. And it took me 3 months to do it. And I learned really quickly I need to learn InDesign. So I went to YouTube. I spent close to 3 days, nothing but YouTube, and learned InDesign so that I could make my magazine issues. So it's all there if you want to hunt for it and find it. So.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I give it to you guys that do all that marketing, like the graphic designs and doing that kind of marketing. I've never been good at it. Like even graphic design, I wanted to get into it and just for our pictures, you know what I mean? That is one thing I cannot wrap my head around. And I give it to people that can do it, because you got to have, like James, he'd be somebody that was good at it, because you got to have that vision of what you want.
Right.
Me, half time I'm like, oh man, let me just put some words here. Let me do the rap and some impact, like or something, like that's all I know. If you look at my YouTube, our YouTube thumbnails, they're basically, that's what it is.
It has to make an impact. It's the name of the font.
Yeah, the name of the font sounds.
The name of the font, man. Yeah. So let me ask you this. I said, when you first started, Facebook was a great place to grow.
Yeah.
Do you feel that the kayak community now is as involved in sharing the product or the dream as they were back when you first started?
What do you mean, as in people sharing our stuff?
Yeah, sharing your stuff and still being interactive and reactive.
I don't know, man. I have a hard time with algorithms now anymore. Like, we can grow something where we can get 50 likes, and then you can take a picture and post it, and you're like, man, this one right here is gonna kill it, and then you get 2.
Yeah.
And then you start, you got to build it back up, and then you start looking, and when you start looking at your algorithm or your what do you call it, your stats and stuff, you're like, man, it really reached a lot of people, but nobody liked it. Why did they not like that? It reached that many people. I don't know. I think now social media has gotten so drama fed now that people are so worried about that's just like sharing a fishing picture. This kind
Mhm.
of maybe off topic, but on topic. People will bash that fish picture more than they'll say good job.
Right.
Now, I do see some places like that, we're not going to handle negativity, and it's all good stuff. You know what I mean? But it's the
Mhm.
same thing with products now. I mean, it's so many companies that are making different products now. Somebody can ask on a group, what do you think about the one objective mount, for instance? And then it'll be 3 or 4 other people. Get this one instead, and it's their brand. You know what I mean? And I'm like,
Right.
that's not what they asked you. They asked you about this particular mount. But yeah, I do think the sharing of products. I think the sharing of you'll see more drama shared stuff than you will sharing of a product. Or some people,
Right.
I think, think they need that competitive edge. They don't want to share it. You know what I mean? I think
Right.
that's you go in there and look at fishing lures, you don't see many people sharing like, I wore them out on this bait
Mhm.
today. You know what I mean? Not unless they are sponsored by that company and they're trying to sell.
Yeah, I've had some posts where, like, when I was first starting up, I was like, "Please share this post. Please get it out there to people. I'm trying to build the magazine." And it's got like 3 shares. But then I see like 475 people saw it.
Yeah.
And I feel like people are getting um not it's oversaturated with requests. It's oversaturated with products. And people just blindly go past it, not maliciously. It's just they're just like, I don't have time to like everything, and they just blow past it. And uh, like advertisers, even yourself, the way you judge whether your advertising is effective is interactions,
Yeah.
and people don't really interact as much, do they? That's what I think my question would be is, do they interact less now than they did back in the past?
I think so. But I don't know if I blame it so much. Okay, there's 2 factors here. There's one, I think people's attention span is so short. If you actually
Hmm.
go, for instance, I'm a people watcher. I'm not a creep, but I'm a people watcher. Me and my wife both are. You walk through the mall and you're like, man, what are they doing? Or
Hmm.
what is that dude wearing? Like I'm
Right.
not judgmental, but some people wear some weird stuff.
Hmm.
So, but if you sit there and just watch, like if you just kind of hanging out and you see people that are on their phone and they're doing this, man, they're swiping fast.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how are you reading any post? They're just swiping. They just keep whether they're looking for something or something. I don't know, but I just feel like people's attention span is so short now, and you
Right.
can be TikTok and YouTube Shorts and all this stuff now. That people's attention span is so short that they're just scrolling through until they see something that catches their eye, they read it, and they keep on going.
Right.
Unless it's something that directly affects them, whether it be some drama related or whatever, will they actually comment? But people don't share much anymore. People don't share posts or not like that. They might like it or something like that, but they don't share a lot anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, I
So
wonder what the next big algorithm thing is going to be. Like likes and shares used to be the go-to.
yeah,
Like how many likes do you have on your products or whatever?
yeah,
Like um uh, I have 500 I'm sorry, 5,000 and some people that like my Facebook page. But
hmm
then there's like 400 views,
yeah,
on a thing. I'm like, well, okay, that's a cool number to tell somebody you have 5,000 friends on Facebook, but
yeah,
little to nobody sees it. So,
yeah. And what my second point was, I didn't say it, I forgot because I kind of was the algorithm.
mhm.
So I haven't seen. It's another group around here called the Basscast. You've probably
Mhm.
seen this stuff. Well, there for a while I wasn't seeing none of his stuff, and I'm like, dude, does he even like post anymore? I know Brian pretty well, and because I fought for local tournament results and stuff
Right.
at Smith Mountain. And I'm like, man, I haven't seen nothing from this dude in a while. And then I go click and I'm like, gosh dang, he's shared a lot of posts, but it's not popping up on my feed no more.
Yeah.
And I think that's what happens is if somebody don't like something and say they didn't put it in front of you twice,
Yeah.
then they don't like it. They don't put it in front of them no more. And I don't know if that's the exact number, but like I had somebody reach out. Actually, I talked to Wade at Yak Attack the other day,
Mhm.
and he said, "Hey, man, we was talking about some product, and he said, man, do y'all still post on Facebook?' I'm like, yeah, dude, been posting every day. He's like, dang, dude, I ain't even see. So he went in and searched it. Now he sees our stuff again. But like the algorithms are so messed up. There's so much different stuff that people look up now.
Right.
I mean, you think, for instance, it's turkey season. We're smoking a turkey. So I
Mhm.
looked up a turkey brine. Now I open Facebook up, and there's freaking 30 ads that you're going to go through of turkey brines, you know? So
It's funny is when you talk to somebody about something, you open your phone, you're like, wait a minute, there's ads everywhere for whatever.
listening,
So,
man. They're
yeah.
listening.
Yeah, we're not there yet. Put
Yeah.
on where's my aluminum foil hat? So with that in mind, I mean, do you have any thoughts of like going forward, what would be a good alternative for getting people to see your products?
Yeah, I think right now we're in that shorts thing now. You know what I mean? Like you've got to be able to do video content. Like I think pictures are now, I mean, I do see like places like TikTok, all that are really trying to push stories now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The problem with stories is it's people see it one time.
Right.
So if that first picture, that picture that you put up there isn't really good and intriguing, they're just gonna scroll on to the next one. You know what I mean? So, and it's the same thing as regular scrolling on Facebook. But the thing with Facebook, just a regular picture, is they can go back and search it later. Hey, but somebody's talking. Hey, man, One Objective shared a picture of a new mount, but if you just do it in story mode or stories, it's gonna be gone within a couple hours.
Right.
They can find it back. So you got to do a post. But I think short form videos right now is the biggest deal. Like it sucks. I hate short form videos because now if we go film a YouTube video,
And he's out. Let me bring you back in.
Oh,
there you are.
Sorry about that. I don't know what happened there. It just
Power
went
surge.
quick.
Facebook heard you talking about it. Be like, shut him down.
Shut him down. YouTube and Facebook and Instagram come at me. But yeah, I mean, you do a YouTube video and then you have to cut it down and do shorts, and that takes a little bit of time, but you got to do it,
Right. Yeah, it's sort of like Andrew Blair, Tactical Fishing Company. I watch him. He's trying his best to be on the cutting edge with comedy and stuff like that, and he's really doing a great job at it.
Yeah.
But I mean, at a certain point, I mean, I don't think that that's me. Like, I'm funny with 3 or 4 people in a room telling jokes.
Yeah.
But I don't think I can convey genuine humor in a short, and then, or you got to fall out of your kayak or hook yourself to get a bunch of views.
Yes.
So,
and that's what got me. Like I hit my dad in the back of the head with a jig, man. People are like, oh, that was set up. That was planned. That was fake. I'm like, no, dude. That was straight up me screwing up and hitting my dad. And he got 5.4 million views or something like that, Yeah, people want that kind of stuff. And, you can really put some time and effort in a video and you're like, this one's going to kill it. Like this one's going to be really good. A good example is, so I hit my dad in the head and I got to 5 million views. And then me, James, and Austin, his son, we went fishing. And James was in the back of the boat unhooking a fish, putting the live well. So Austin come up front with me and he went to cast. And when he cast, he come out, he smacked me in the back of the head. It was karma, straight up. But he smacked me in the back of the head. And I'm like, well, man, that hurt. But we liable to get some views off of this one. And then you go post it and you're like, 1,000 views. You're like, what in the world? Why did that one do so well and this one did horribly? I mean, it did okay.
Right.
But I don't know. Yeah, it's tough, man. It's the algorithms are so crazy with no matter what platform you're on, and all of them are different. This one's algorithm's different, so you got to do this differently than when you would do on something else. So it's really hard to keep up.
Yeah, my biggest winners have been fat guy getting in a kayak or big guy getting in a kayak, because everybody watches just waiting to see me dump it. They're like, he's gonna go over. I know it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
So yeah, but 90,000 views, but. And then, like you said, with the controversy too, I mean, some people they thrive on that controversy because interaction is key, good or bad. Like you ask a weird question, and then you have, what's the best chicken joint? They're like, burr, burr, burr. No, you don't know.
Yeah.
Get your views how you get your views, I guess.
Oh yeah. And you talk about the comedy thing. I'm the same way like you, man. I can be funny. I mean. You get a group of us in the house talking, I can be funny. But when I'm out there fishing, I'm not. I mean, I can joke. Me and James and all them can joke. Some stuff we can't even put in video, But
oh yeah,
and people are like, James, like, man, we got to put it in. I'm like, man, I can't because we got kids watching and all that stuff. So I try not to do anything. Yeah, not look rehearsed. And that's me. Like if I feel like if I do something funny, it's going to seem rehearsed.
Yeah.
All our videos are. It is what it is. If you see me freaking out because I caught a big one, that's all raw emotion. That's not me putting on or any of that stuff. It's just how it is, man. And then people see through that.
And another thing too is with the you ever seen Greg Blanchard's videos?
Yep.
So he has a cut. If you watch it, like almost every 3 seconds, there's a cut. Even if he's talking to you, like around, it'll have a cut because of people's attention span. You have to have a transition to keep them going. So I'm not saying that he's only popular because of his transitions. He has great content, but the transitions keep your brain thinking it's new. It's another video, new video, new video. And it's all, you could watch the whole thing.
Yeah.
Or you've got to be high spirited like Mr. Beast, who comes in, who tells you everything's going to happen in the video in the first 30 or 10 seconds. And then you've got to watch the whole video to find those key points.
Exactly.
So,
yeah. And I watch a lot of videos. I always watch new stuff like, see if I learned anything new about how to grow our YouTube channel. Every so often I'll watch something new. And one guy was talking about, that's what he's talking about, was the clips to the next scene. It used to be every 15 seconds you should do a new clip. No one wants to sit there and watch a live video of someone standing there fishing the whole time. It's boring. You'll go to sleep. If you're working and you just want some background noise on your computer, that's one thing. But like it really intrigues someone and get them sucked into a video. It used to be every 15 seconds you need to have a new frame, a new clip. Now, like you say, it's about every 3, 4 seconds, 5 seconds now.
Yeah,
our attention span has gotten so bad. It's crazy.
Right. And I mean, I even find myself sometimes, like I'm flipping through, I'll watch a video that has like, let's say pranks, and it's got 5 to 7 pranks in it. I'll get through the third one and I'm like, okay, next video. I'm like, wait, there's more. I'll go back. And I've watched that same video to the point I scrolled forward before, and I'll do it again.
Yeah.
I'm like, that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
I'm sure someone out there with a degree would tell me how messed up I am, but but that's what happens. So,
yeah. And it is. I mean, you notice it with kids now. I mean, kids' attention spans are horrible, and they get bored easy. Like you go on a road trip, if they ain't got a cell phone in front of them right now, they get really bored, and I blame that all on us. You know what I mean? We try to cut our kids, time on phones and YouTube or TV and all that stuff, games. But it's still there, man. Attention spans are horrible. And as fishermen, I think that's what's wrong with some of us now. They talk about we ain't catching it on, tried this, tried that. I think our attention spans got so bad that some people change baits up more than, you know what I mean? Like, oh, this ain't biting. Let me try this. Let me try this. They don't give nothing a chance to work because our attention span is so bad. We don't like to work that bait so long without a bite.
Yeah, I mean, we've gotten so dependent on electronics, we've started watching video screens.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It's exactly right, too.
So let's jump back on the product. So when you're developing a new mount or a new product, what's the process? I mean, do you find a problem via people complaining about it, or do you just bring the kayak in and redevelop what you already have?
So we'll do some stuff like, when it just like says from the start, like if we see there's an issue out there people are having, we try to say, okay, how can we fix this? How can we make this easier for people? And then if we're on the water too, like, hey man, can we make this mount better to do this? Because I don't like, for instance, a kayak accessory plate, when we did that, I want a tool holder in it. You know what I mean? Like, I think it'd be great with a tool holder now, So, but from start to finish for a bow mount instance, we try to pull it in and set the kayak in. And the first couple of things we're doing is looking for weaknesses in the boat. You see a lot of cuts and corners on kayaks. And I mean, whether it's rounding, if it's really rounded or if it's got a lot of sharp breaks or, if you start seeing a lot of sharp breaks, you got to watch because they try to do that for structural purposes to make it stronger in plastic. But sometimes it does cause weak spots. So you got to kind of look for that. And that's something a lot of people get, mad. Like, how come you ain't got a bow mount for this one yet? Well, I don't think that kayak can support a bow mount. Like, I don't want to see your boat get ripped to pieces if you hit something
Right.
on a hot summer day when the plastic's soft. But that's also another thing too that we take in effect is like, okay, if we're designing this during the summer, wintertime when it's cold, it's hard. What's it going to be like during the summertime? Is there going to be a lot of play in this? So we try to get everything inside and get it air, warmed up to a normal 67 degrees, and then really start going in and designing on some stuff. And then, then it's just testing, getting out on the water, testing, doing crazy stuff, making sure it ain't going to flex too much. You don't want a lot of flex.
Right.
But I do tell people, a lot of people talk about mounts and going to these metal mounts and stuff like that. Nothing wrong with that. I do get it. But when I look at it this way too, is that mount can be as stout as you possibly want it. I mean, you can get it. I mean, you could go in and make a huge, thick steel plate mount. But if the kayak ain't going to support it and you have absolutely no give nowhere else, you're going to rip your kayak to pieces.
Right.
You hit something. I mean, we watched Gene Jensen hit stuff really hard and get slung out of his boat. Well, guess whose mount that was? That was our mount. That was our mount on the front of that thing. We've seen a lot of people hit stuff and not tear their boat up. Not, they might come out to kayak, but didn't really tear up nothing. So, but that's some of the process we go through. When, we get it in there, we start looking at it. We might cut something out of cardboard and kind of start designing and just looking at. We try to get it to be streamlined with the kayak as well, because you don't want nothing that's got edges and stuff like that, so your line don't hit, you know what I mean, your fishing line, or something for it to get caught up under. You try to, the crazy thing is you got to be an engineer, like for James, have that engineer mindset, but you also got to have that fishing mindset as well. Like if I'm sitting down in this kayak and I want to net a fish, or trying to take a fish around the front of the boat or whatever, what's going to happen to my line, or what, anything. You're storing a kayak, you're storing a fishing rod between your legs while you're using another one real quick. What's it going to hit or get caught up under, or any of that stuff. So, but that's some of it, I mean, we just go in and we try to really visualize what it's going to be like, how it's going to perform. And then after you get that and you figure out how strong the kayak is, now you try to figure out how you can design it for the mount to be structurally sound and not give nobody issues on the water. And then we just go through a testing phase for a little bit, Sometimes it's customer comes in with a boat and we don't have a mount for it. We design it and we say, hey, test it for us before we put it out there on the market. Let us know what you think. We need feedback, So a lot of you guys that call us and want a mount for your kayak that we don't make, reach out to us. We'll work out a date to get it in there. Now, the problem with some kayaks is people got like a 2012 model kayak. They don't make no more. You don't get much requests for it. It doesn't make a lot of business sense to go in and make this a big manufactured part, because those kayaks are dwindling out. You know what I mean? A 2012 kayak, I mean, there'll be a few out there, but some of them are tore up. They're in the dumpster now, or, so you're trying to go for that next new kayak out there. That's what you're trying to do.
So what's your most successful product to date that you guys have designed?
I mean, it's probably been our bow mounts. I mean, there's no particular model.
Yeah.
Love to do well, a bow mount's probably been the biggest, I'm gonna say the biggest game changer in the product. And then, you get into some of your, like our kayak caddy, for instance, our cup caddy. Our cup caddy's been done really well with that. And we've helped sell Yak Attack cups, we try to work with Luther and all of them guys at Yak Attack and Wade and to help sell their products as well. Cause we try to implement a lot of Yak Attack stuff in our products. Some stuff we're kind of getting out of just because that means it's one other thing we got to stock, so we try to get away from certain things, but nothing towards them. It's just, financially wise, it makes more sense to be able to implement it when we're cutting the product into our product than it is to have to bolt it on or have a customer have to order 2 parts, or something like that.
Now, do you guys have any like new products coming out that are going to be showstoppers?
I'm not sure it's going to be showstoppers. We got some stuff that we're working on with the XTR. We got the XTR back in the shop again. We got a couple Wildernesses back in the shop again that we're going to be doing some different stuff with. Probably see some of that. I'm going to say either December or 1st of January. When December's right here. So you might see December or 1st of January. I'm not sure how that's going to go. But I mean, it's just going to be some things and make things a little bit easier on the XTR. Some questions, some some requests we've had for the XTR, and then some requests we've had for the Wilderness Systems kayaks, So, and we work with other companies like Feel Free and all that. I really love to get that new Feel Free, that big boat they came out with. I can't think of the name right now, but they got one that's it's going to be like in comparison with like the Wilderness and the XTR. So
yeah, I saw Mike McKinstry was taking for a ride with his last trip.
Yeah. So I'd like to get my hands on something like that and do something with that. But as a I'm gonna say game changer, which that word is thrown a lot around in this industry.
Yeah.
I don't think we have nothing right now that's gonna be game changer for us right now. I mean, it's still gonna be the same old. What bow mount can we make for the next kayak, or what kayak do we need to make a bow mount for the next one? So, but yeah, nothing crazy coming out.
Now, do manufacturers, do they send you a boat to fit stuff on, or are you reliant on clients, or?
It's about 50-50. We used to work with some dealers as well. Like they get a boat, we'd get it in and kind of do a little rigging. They could sell it that way, or some stuff we didn't have to really drill and fit. You know what I mean? So we could test it and mock it up like that. And then, like some companies, yeah, we'd work with a few companies that would send us a boat, or we'd go pick them up and kind of have a pick the litter we want. I mean, you don't always get the best one. You might get a blemished boat or a warranty one or something. It just depends on how new it is, but they've been great. A lot of these companies have, I think, taken us in. I mean, you get some kickback from some of them, but it's not nothing major,
Right.
I think some of these companies now are trying to I don't think they understand the warranty claims that could be ahead of them if they are not careful, but a lot of them are trying to get into the accessory game.
Yeah.
And then some of them are also just trying to implement it where you can just bolt the motor right to the kayak. And I think that's going to be some major warranty issues later on. You know what I mean? Because a lot of these are nutserts. They're molding in. They're just going to rip them out. I mean, people rip them out of the handles on Hobies and all that all the time, picking the Hobie up,
Right.
So, I mean, that's just stuff that's I think they need to stay away from. And I might be biased because we own an accessory company,
Right.
But you look at companies like Ford and Chevrolet and all that. I mean, there's companies that make performance exhaust, and they make all this stuff, but Chevrolet's not making it.
Right.
They're getting another company to make it for them. And that's what we've tried to do with some companies, and some companies will do it. We make a few products for certain companies, but yeah, I don't know where I was going with this answer, but I think it's crazy. Some of these companies are they're trying to get into the accessory bracket, and I get it. They're trying to make more money with their company, but I don't think their accessories are either they take forever to come out, or sometimes they're not well thought out, or whatever. Not trying to bash them companies. I'm not doing that, but I'm just like, I see it a lot. You see it on Facebook and all that stuff. So
just trying to grab every penny they can.
Yeah, and I get it. I mean,
for as few pennies as they can.
Yeah.
So where do you see? Well, this is probably the last one. Where do you see the industry going in the next 5 to 10 years? Because I know before COVID, we were at a even keel of seemingly everyone that fished, and they had their natural buying of items. Then we had a huge spike during COVID, and I feel like we're trickling down. Do you still feel it trickling down? Or are we starting to level back off? Or what do you see the next?
I feel like we're going to have another year of a decline. I feel like it's not going to be a steep decline like it was, a year after or 2 years after COVID. But I still think that we're going to have a steady, I want to say a few more months of decline. Like, I know this year things fell off a little quicker. I say it went better than it was last year. Yet last year was election year, so I don't know if everybody was upset or scared of what was going to happen. Either way it went, but also, the country was kind of in a bind with money, and a lot of people didn't have money, at the time. So things fell off a little bit quicker. And then this year we went a little bit further than we did, but it seemed like it was more of a normal year. I still feel like, just looking around, seeing how many kayak dealers are going out.
Right.
I see, like some of these dealers that are still in, like some of these companies are still wanting them to order more boats, but they can't because they have so much, when they were ordering so much quantity during COVID, they're still sitting on a lot of stuff. I mean, I see some dealers that are still sitting on like 2002s or 2003s, certain brand kayaks, they can't get rid of them. So they're offering cheaper deals, but then you got kayaks companies are coming out with a new kayak every year that I cast.
Yeah.
That people are now these dealers are having to order the newer one, and they can't get rid of some of the ones they got. So I think there's going to be still a steady decline a little bit, and then I think it'll level off. I think it'll get back to the normal people that's been doing this. You still have people new coming into it, but you still have the OGs and all that are still going to be doing it. But some people I see get into the kayak industry. They rig out a kayak, they put a lot of money in it, and then they're like, oh man, I really want to start taking my family out, So then they're like, I'm gonna get a bass boat or a John boat, and they do that, And
Right.
so fishing industry in a whole, I think, is on a decline. I mean, you've seen it with the ICAST. We didn't go to it, but just talking to some friends that went, pictures I seen, and what came out. A lot of companies are not wanting to spend the money to go to ICAST anymore. The booths are so expensive, and the year wasn't that great. So why would you spend that much money in marketing when it's not been a good year for the fishing industry, the outdoor industry in a whole? But I don't know. I think it'll come back, but it will not be like COVID. It's never going to be like COVID. Those numbers were so skewed that you could never base anything off of that. Like you just take it as a bonus couple years, and then you go off. Then you go to like, all right, this is our normal kayak industry now,
Right.
So that's where I'm at. That's what I think.
Yeah. I feel like you're pretty on the point there. So
yeah.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate you coming on. We're about to the 1 hour mark. Is there anything you want to shoot out there? Say hello to anybody, goodbye to anybody, anything?
I just want to thank all our customers, man. All the support we've had from customers. It's been phenomenal. We got some really great customers that have supported us, even if, we run into an issue sometimes, something don't fit right or whatever. Every once in a while, you got a guy get a little angry, but we normally are able to work it out and everybody's satisfied with it, So
Right.
We got some really great customers. I want to thank all of them that has supported us and got us at this point where we're at. All our followers and subscribers on YouTube. People are great, man. I mean, we don't get a lot of negativity. Yeah, every once in a while you get somebody write something stupid, but you don't get a lot of negativity. So we've got some good followers, and also our family. They've supported us so much, and we couldn't do it without our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Because I mean, we've prayed a lot.
Mm-hmm.
We have prayed a lot about this, our company, and the Lord putting His hand on our company. And He's put us in front of the right people, that you just happen to randomly run into at like an ICAST or a kayak fishing shop or a tackle shop, that all of a sudden you're like, man, well, now we're doing this part with our industry. We're in this kind of the industry now. So He's put us in front of a lot of great people that's helped us grow this business, and we couldn't have done it without Him. So but other than that, man, I mean, just, everybody's watching, and I hope y'all go check out oneobjectivebf.com. We got our sale that will be starting tomorrow at 12 o'clock. So make sure you stay tuned for that. We got it's not everything, but we got a lot of stuff that's on there that I think it'll be 15% off right now. And
Nice.
then we'll see how it goes after that. But then also we got a lot more stuff on our website now too. So if you don't mind checking that out, that ain't all just One Objective. We're trying to be a one-stop shop.
Yeah. I saw you guys had a bunch of cool stuff on there, like you're expanding your inventory to be more tackle shop-ish.
Yeah. We're trying to do that and trying to just have a little odd and end knick-knack stuff. If you come on there and you want to order, a bow mount, and go in there and order you a crankbait or a tackle bag or something, you know what I mean? Just a t-shirt. We're getting a lot of t-shirt stuff on there right now. So we're just trying to expand out everywhere. We're a one-stop shop that everybody can come in and get a little bit of everything for them. So
I saw you had Bixby Motors on there,
Yep.
So you guys going to get a bow mount, pick up a Bixby for the wife for Christmas, because they all want a Bixby motor for Christmas, no matter what they say.
That's right. They all want a Bixby motor.
They do.
They don't want to paddle. They want to be able to hit that button and go on up the river.
It's a beautiful blue color too. Like it's it's perfectly made for. Yeah.
And it's light. And
very light.
So make sure you check them out. But Yeah, man. I hope I didn't talk too much. I tend to do that. That's why I
Nah,
had my.
you're good to go. I appreciate someone who talks more than just one answer, one word answers.
Yeah.
Yep. Nope.
Yep. I've had them before.
Yeah. It's like, come on, man.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to dig into my questions here. Yeah. So I appreciate you coming on. You make an amazing product. I've got several of your things on my kayak. For those of you out there that don't have bow mounted motors, don't let that hold you back from getting a bow mount from One Objective, because like I said, when I grab my new canoe, and I mean, it's a big boat with everything on it. And if I have to pull it up on the shore, I have no issues grabbing that bow and just pulling.
Yeah.
Something else is going to give way well before that bow mount does. So, mostly my back.
Yeah.
But yeah, go check them out. And go shout out to your website again, because I don't want to mess it up.
It's oneobjectivebf.com.
All right. Perfect. All right. Well, I'm going to put you in the background. I'm going to say goodbye to everybody. I'll hop back in with you.
All right, buddy.
Thank you. No problem. All right, everyone. Thank you for hanging out with us for this episode 46 with Josh Carter from One Objective. Bass fishing, they're amazing products, great stuff. And if you don't see it, just shoot them a message. They can do some amazing one-off stuff. And, with anything custom, I'm sure it's going to cost a little more, but you're going to get what you want. So this episode is brought to you by Snake River Manufacturing. Go to snakerivermanufacturing.us and check out all of the kayak trailers that Steve and the crew are putting together. You'll be truly amazed with the quality of what Steve and the Snake River Manufacturing group are doing. It's amazing stuff. So also, this episode is brought to you by Viking Kayaks USA. Go to vikingkayaksusa.com and check out all of their paddlecraft. They have quite a good lineup, and I think they just got a shipment in, so you can get one now to be ready for the upcoming season. Also, if you're a coffee drinker, Kayak Coffee has given us a code CAFE20 for 20% off of any of their products online. And you go to kayakcoffee.com and pick yourself up some wonderful, wonderful coffee. These cups also are available at Nico's Art Therapy on Facebook. These logos have been given to them to use for their coffee mugs, and all of the sale proceeds go directly to Nico's Therapy. All right. Thank you again for joining me. I appreciate everything you guys have done. And as my father says here, happy Thanksgiving. And thank you all for sticking with me for as long as you have. And we're going to continue keeping on. So you guys have a good night.